What other thing would you take
Well,
to ghost hunt?
the only consolation I can put in there is that if you are patient, hopefully eventually you will see something, and that'll give you the fuel to continue, because that you'll remember that one exciting thing that happened, and that sort of clues you into the fact that there really is something out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another good point that Marlena makes, is that if you don't go with expectation, but you're composed and you're calm, you know, and you're willing to wait for it, it's quite likely that eventually it's going to happen. I don't know a single ghost hunter that has not, at some point or other, had this interest validated.
Right, that's a good way of putting it.
By something happening to
Yeah.
them.
Right.
It may be a really small thing, or it could be like a flashlight, like a mag light, those big black things, flying through the air at a school auditorium and landing right in front of Marlena. And, you know, who was expecting that? You know, it wasn't dark out, it was early in the afternoon, and flashlight went airborne.
Totally unexpected.
Yeah, and it wasn't any of us, so maybe there was some sort of atmospheric condition that made all the metal magnetic in the school and it flew around the air for a bit, or maybe it was a ghost. So if you go without expectation, you won't be disappointed. And if your expectations are realistic, you might see what you're looking for. And if you go calm, like Marlena says, eventually something will happen to validate your being out there.
Yeah. And you need to be grounded.
Yeah, you know.
You need to be grounded, so you
need to be.
Can't be flaky.
Yeah. You don't want to be ghost hunting and you're panicking at every little noise. You know, where your average ghost hunter is not like that English show that we won't mention, but you know which one I mean. You need to be wide-eyed, alert. You need to be ready to write down at all times what might be happening in your surroundings. You need to keep those notes to yourself nice and private, so that Marlena's not looking around saying, oh, who saw what? Oh, yeah, I saw that too, and writing it down, and maybe being dishonest and claiming that 2 people saw a ghost and maybe 2 people didn't, 1 did. So that's why you keep your notes private, because it's one way that the team leader or the founder, the co-founder, which is Marlena, can look at everybody's notes and say, wow, you know, Jan, this person and that person had something happen to them in the same time, and they were in different rooms, but very similar. Look at this. And that would be something that we'd really want to follow up on.
Yeah.
So be grounded, be alert, be willing to take notes.
Pardon me.
Be awake.
Yeah.
If you can't go ghost hunting when you're sleepy.
Well fed and well rested.
Not too well fed, because that can bring on, you know, the need
yeah.
to go to the bathroom or other body things that make you feel a little uncomfortable. Don't drink a lot of coffee, because it dries out your system. If you're going to bring a beverage, you should bring some water. It's always comfortable to bring a blanket, a pillow, so you can lay down and be a little bit comfortable. It doesn't mean you're going to fall asleep, but there's no law that says you can't lay down and be comfortable on the ghost hunt. If you've got your camera set up and you're just laying there quietly. What else? So calm, well rested, fed, not stuffed, not, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom in the worst way, fed, where it's like pressure. Relaxed is really good, just sort of veg right out, because nobody cares what you look like or what you're dressed like. You know, you're probably wearing your ghost uniform, which is in that box, and I should pull it out. It doesn't matter what you're dressed like, you're comfortable, you're relaxed. If you're a member of our group, you'll be wearing this lovely little, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a Vancouver Paranormal. It's got our lovely little, oh goodness, it's got a lovely little crest on the front, and mwah, these are really comfortable hoodies. So, you know, if you, yeah, you know, even if you're Bob's Paranormal, you could have a hoodie like that, something with your name on it. If Marnie ever decided that she's gonna take her flag and her ball and her camera or two and run off into the wilderness, she could get herself a similar thing. It's a good idea to have an article of clothing for ghost hunting, because it just looks a little bit more professional, a little bit more organized. We don't look like this when we go ghost hunting.
Mm. Yeah,
We look quite spiffy.
we do.
And yeah, so relaxed, recap, alert, Marlena says patience, fed, warm, comfortable. What else did you say?
Come with as little emotional baggage as possible.
Yep, no expectations,
Yeah.
don't come angry, don't go to a ghost hunt, irked at the guy that's in the room with you. Leave it all behind. And the reason for that is really simple, and I don't know how true it is, but there is a feeling that if you go ghost hunting and you're in a bad mood, negative energy is going to attach to you. Whether or not that's true, we don't know, but hey, why take a chance?
Err on the side of caution.
Err on the side of caution. It doesn't hurt you to put a smile on your face, and it makes it a lot easier for people to be working with you that night, and just relax and have a good time with it. Ghost hunting is one of the few things that we can do, getting back to the original question, that you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, gas can get expensive, and some equipment can get expensive, but generally speaking, for the time that you're walking around ghost hunting, the 2 or 3 hours that you might be doing it on that particular investigation, it can be fun. It can be, you never know when something's going to happen. Now, what else did we want to teach you today?
That's pretty good so far.
Well, thank you. We are the best.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a Vancouver Paranormal boom, 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 3D flashing on the
That'd be
screen
cool.
right now.
That'd be cool. Yeah, so I guess there's an aspect of, what does the ghost hunter as a member of a group do? Their behavior and the things that need to be prepared of.
Listen to me. That's
Listen
the
to
easy.
John.
That's the easy one.
What does the ghost
Or
hunter
listen
do?
to Marlena.
Well, I listen to you first.
Yes.
What does a ghost hunter do if they're by themselves, which is not particularly the wisest thing, maybe?
Well, that's the theory, and generally they would do the same thing as a team ghost would do, except they're in control of themselves.
Right.
Plus, they'd also have a cell phone turned on that we wouldn't do in a ghost group.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Is just a lifeline, right?
Yeah.
So there's not too much difference between the Joe Blow ghost hunter and
Mhm.
Jam Blow ghost hunter, except that I'll have your guts for garters if you have a cell phone on during a ghost hunt, and if you're in a team. But if you're by yourself, you would almost insist on somebody being sure they had a cell phone with them in case of an emergency. So that, because in an emergency situation with us, we're there to bail you out,
Right.
hopefully.
Right.
Unless we're not all sort of smoked at the same time.
Right.
Then you're on your own.
Right. Yeah. But the thing
I
is-
would suggest that point, run.
I never run from a ghost.
Well, you should never say never, because there's always somebody's going to push that button and find
I'll
out.
never run from one.
Now, you're going to say something, so I want you to say something. I get something out that's really cool looking. I don't know if I'll be able to show you on the camera, but
Oh.
carry on there, Marlena.
Yeah. I think for ghost hunting, the most exciting thing is figuring out where to find them. And you say they come to you, but you want to go somewhere where the chances are that they're going to be maybe more prevalent than somewhere else, right? I've heard you talk in the past about schools, hospitals. My preference is cemeteries, of course. I love the fresh air and the spookiness of all the tombstones. And
Well, I think some places definitely have more likelihood of
you
haunting.
might get
than-
more hits, right?
Yeah, than other
Yeah.
places.
Yeah,
But there's no rule on that, as you know.
yeah,
Why do you suppose, just because you brought it up,
yeah.
why do you suppose their schools are haunted or hotels and hospitals? You could say, well, people die, naturally, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Maybe that's the reason. I mean,
what about schools? What about hotels? What about these other places you're talking about?
right. Well, I think people naturally are kind of gregarious, right? They like to be together.